Howdy, y'all. Where it was quiet and I felt like doing the video, so I'm just going to be late to work. I'm going to list my numbers first because it's I need to explain some things after that. These aren't exact because I'm trying to do it by memory, but they are listed on my profile. I think week 43, I gained a pound. I was 144.5. Week 44, I gained a pound and a half, and I got back up to 146. So let me explain that a little bit. The number on the scale doesn't get to me like it used to, but I have to admit that I did get a little bit worried when it started creeping up a little, when I gained a pound and a half in a week. But I calmed myself down by remembering that this is probably where my body feels comfortable. When I was younger, before I lost weight, I could never get below 140 no matter what I did. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe 145 is going to be where my body is sticking, and I think it's normal to go up and down within a 5-pound range. So I'm thinking maybe with the the extra skin I have now, that may account for the 5 pounds of where I was for, I think, like 6 years. I stayed at around 140, 145. So now I'm thinking with that, I'm probably going to stick between 143, 146, something like that, because that's where I've been bouncing. But the number on the scale was starting to affect how I felt about myself physically. Like, I started feeling fatter. I started feeling big again. I started feeling like I wasn't skinny. And I had to calm myself down by reminding myself, like, hey, all my newer clothes are still fitting. Nothing's getting tighter. I'm probably not really bigger. And I actually pulled out my measuring tape to see what my measurements were. I didn't write it down. I want to say it was 32, 37, 37. The last time I had measured it was 32, 38, 38. So if anything, I'm actually an inch smaller, which isn't much, but it shows me that I'm definitely not getting bigger. But with those feelings of feeling fat, then that started to make me worry that I was going to gain my weight back. Then I started to worry about the amount of food that I can eat. So then I started wanting to eat more. So like I've mentioned a million times before, my thinking will really get the best of me, and then that leads me to the fridge. So I really have to have all these safeguards set into place where I catch those thoughts, make myself realize that they're not always realistic, and try to calm myself back down. I think what's really working for me right now is, like I've mentioned before, trying to look at this more of like a lifestyle thing, not as a diet. Maybe in the future I will feel motivated and ready to, say, drop another 10 pounds. I don't think I necessarily need to or have to. I think that I could, or I could just tone what I have. But just living right now, being happy with maintaining, maybe going up a pound, down a pound, whatever. But I do still have those moments of worry and stress and thinking I'm going to gain it back, and then I start eating poorly. And it's just silly because it's just complete self-sabotage. I have mentioned before I can eat a significant amount more than most people that have had this surgery. However, when I remind myself that I can still lose eating this amount, I can maintain eating this amount, and it really truly is about my choices. Just because I can eat certain things, and I know there's certain foods that slide through easier than others. I know that if I drink water with my food, I can eat more. So, just catching my behavior in the process, realizing that this really is a tool. The tool helped me drop the weight. I don't believe that the tool will forever help us maintain. I believe it's, it has a purpose to drop excess amounts of weight extremely rapidly while you're still motivated. Beyond that, finding the motivation on your own is the most important part. What else did I want to talk about? Hopefully my ex never sees this video. To be honest, I really don't care if they do, but I wanted to say something that really bothered me, and I have to make a little confession here. My ex is a girl. Yes, I dated a woman at one point. But she was telling me that she doesn't know I had surgery. It's never came up. But she was talking about her friend that had the gastric sleeve, and she said that her own insurance would pay for it. So she was thinking about getting surgery. And I didn't say anything to her, but I got so angry because I was thinking, like, her name's Jade. Jade has never, ever tried to lose weight, ever, on her own. I've seen her make extremely poor food choices. eating candy, eating one large meal at the end of the day, really not knowing anything about herself concerning emotional eating, concerning the right food choices, concerning exercising, and the fact that she has an insurance company that's willing to say, yeah, we'll pay for you to get surgery. It just makes me a little angry because I'm thinking of all the work that I put in to myself to get myself even ready for the point of having surgery. And now that I've had surgery, knowing that it's, I still have just as much work going on as I did before surgery, and it's just bothersome to me that people are in these positions where they can get a surgery. I don't think that they're mentally prepared for something like that. Like, yeah, they're going to lose the weight. You're forced to eat a small amount for a certain amount of time, but then eventually they're going to gain it back. So anyways, that just made me really angry that, I think doctors are really a lot of them are about how much money they can make. And I think that a legitimate doctor who is concerned about the long-term care of their patients needs to have them look at all different aspects. What are they doing physically? What are they doing emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Make sure that they're hitting all the areas. I think that going to a therapist or group therapy or something should be required of people. I'm not saying this is for everyone. It's just, knowing someone that has never even attempted to lose weight on her own, that she's going to be doing something as drastic as having surgery, it really bothered me. With that said as well, covering all different aspects of your life, I recently became a Christian. Before, I thought I was spiritual in a way. A lot of 12-step meetings, and I actually had a video about this, talk about the importance of having a relationship with a God of your understanding, or being spiritual, finding help outside of yourself. But since becoming a Christian, I do see that is one aspect of my life that maybe was like the missing link in me getting healed fully. It is about the emotional stuff, the mental stuff, the physical stuff, but it's also about growing spiritually. So I don't know, that's just my personal opinion, and I feel like, once I start to flourish and grow that part of my life as well, I feel like I'm going to be a lot more well-rounded, and I'm going to have this thing, I'm never going to say fully under control, because I think any addiction can come back at any point, but I think it's going to help me handle it a lot better. What else is on here? I was talking about the GI diet a few weeks ago, the glycemic index, and I've noticed that if I just follow it for a couple days, I drop a couple pounds. And this is the one where I was saying how the guy in the book was saying how some foods are red light, yellow light, green light, meaning some foods burn very quickly in your body, some take more time to process. So he's recommending eat foods off of the green list. I've noticed that if I eat stuff from the green for a couple days in a row, that I drop pounds quickly. Another thing I noticed, as the week that I gained 1.5 pounds, I wasn't eating any of those foods. I was starting to eat a little bit poorly, but the biggest thing is I was skipping breakfast and lunch. I was going back to eating my meals at nighttime, eating, maybe like a bigger meal. And the next week when I lost the 1.5 pounds, it's because I went back to making sure I'm eating breakfast, which is usually oatmeal, an egg, and some Canadian bacon, eating something for lunch, eating some snacks, and eating dinner. So, just kind of, one thing with surgery is it's so much easier to get back on track when you fall off. So I do give it credit for that. I'm looking at my time here. I know I'm running out soon. One thing I feel really bad about today is I work in this court, and we were talking about nutrition and food and all sorts of different stuff. And I had mentioned that I have an interest in going back to school for nutrition. And I told them that I used to weigh almost 100 pounds more. And they were like, oh, how did you do it? And I'm always hesitant to say surgery right up front, not because I'm in denial about it or anything like that, or that I don't want people to know. But in a way, it's like I don't want people to discredit what I have to say, because it wasn't just about the surgery. It's also a lot of work that I've put in. And, you guys out there that have had surgery know that also. It's about the work that you're putting in. So I didn't want to tell them right up front that, yeah, I had surgery, because then I feel like everything that came out of my mouth after then, they're going to be thinking, oh, she had surgery, that's why she lost weight. Anyways, I did explain to them some of my eating, how I did low carbs for a while, how I ate whole and natural for a while, how I'm trying to do like the glycemic index stuff right now. So I kind of switch it up, but it's never like a fad diet. These are things that are, just incorporating healthy eating. Anyways, I feel super guilty that I said no when he said, did you have gastric bypass, which technically I didn't. But I think I'm actually going to email the judge and tell him, I felt uncomfortable when he put me on the spot and asked me, did you have bariatric surgery? Tell him, yes, this is what I did, but also yada, yada, yada. So I feel super guilty that I lied about it. But, I had my reasons at the time, and I am going to email him and let him know what the real reason was. Anywho, this is a bunch of rambling, and I'm at the 10-minute mark, so I will talk to you all later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.